Hi guys, my name's Tima and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be switching it up a little bit because rather than introducing you guys to a member of the broker team, I'm going to be introducing you to another very important member of our team. He's typically behind the scenes, constantly working his magic, directing us, and is responsible for capturing most of the content that you guys see on social media, which of course, you know, is a massive importance in this day and age. So today I've got Luke Flynn on here. He's our cameraman, videographer, photographer, you name it, he does it. So Luke, thank you so much for being here today and welcome. How does it feel to be in the hot seat?
It's weird, to be honest. I tend to stay away from just being on camera in general. Yeah. You know, I much prefer to be behind camera than in front of it. But yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's weird as well for me because normally you're off to the side, sort of.
Do you know what? I am always looking at the preview monitor. I'm like, is it still looking alright? Yeah. Are we still getting sound levels? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, like I said, I really wanted to have you on here, and I was anticipating you being on it because your role, as important as it is, it's not really talked about. I think we really. And we undervalue, or not undervalue, but we don't really consider what you do until
it's like the secret, the hidden, one of the hidden roles, isn't it?
Exactly. And sometimes, guys, he'll literally pull us into check out and edit what we've done, and the amount that goes into it, and the time frame to when it's ready, and what, you know, shooting different. There's so much. So I thought, let's pick your brains today, and hopefully everyone can learn a bit more about the film industry, which I'm personally excited about.
Of course. I mean, I'll give you as much as I can, you know.
Yeah, I know. And I've got so many questions I've compiled here for you. So I hope you're ready.
Yeah, shoot.
Perfect. Okay. So I know normally you're directing and you're capturing, but I wanted to start off with something quite lighthearted. So easy question. How long have you been doing this? Sort of how long have you been in the media industry?
Probably too long, but at the same time, not long enough. I mean, I would say maybe good 15, coming up maybe 16 years now.
Oh, wow, that is long.
So I started very, very young, you know, and at that point I was just doing like photography and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I slowly just transitioned over to video, which is kind of where I've just kind of like really like found myself as like a creative, is just creating really nice video.
Yeah, I remember, I love watching the stuff that you especially captured, not only the stuff you do daily with us, but you know when you went out to Qatar with Chris?
Yes.
Just the combination of the film versus the photo shoots that you were doing, impressive. So yeah.
Always fun, but it's always handy to have like a nice background behind you. If you're in a nice setting,
yep.
And actually, okay, it makes the creative a little bit easier if everything around it is already really nice.
Premeditated scene, isn't it?
Exactly.
You don't have to think about that much. And what is it that made you sort of focus more on video? Because I remember you were telling me personally that you more prefer the shooting route now.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It's the way which you tell stories, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think actually as any video creative and any creative as a whole, you know, whether like whatever they do, whether it's like photography or like a painting or something like that, or film, it's all about telling like a story. Yeah. And when it came to really telling like stories through like film and video, and it just came much more naturally to me than what it did doing photography, really.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a hard left, and the more I kind of watched films, the more I picked up on it, and the more films which came important into my life, you know, it kind of really solidified my like undying love for it, really.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's the most important thing in my life is my craft.
Capturing the moments.
Yeah.
Oh, your family must love it. I mean, I'm a bit of the photographer in our family, so they always say, like, when we go out, they're like, oh, we know that you're taking the photos and the video, so we don't really worry about it, but I'm sure it's probably the same.
100% all the time on the holidays when people are like, oh, like, can you get a photo of us?
Yeah.
They're always there like, just give it to this guy, it's his job, and I'm there like, I'm on holiday, come on.
You do a good job of it, so I'm sure they appreciate it, right?
Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I feel like I say perfect a lot. I'm going to change that up today. That's my goal. But there are so many avenues in the media industry that you could have gone into.
Of course.
So what made you focus on the corporate entity? And the reason I say focus is you're with us a lot, so I'm sure you don't have much time to be elsewhere.
It's a weird one. I personally I enjoy corporate video a lot because it's a very nice training ground for your other skill sets. In everything which you do in film is translatable, you know. So whether you work on a feature or whether we're doing like a talking head or a podcast or something like that, the basics are always the same. You know, it's always lighting, it's always, are the shots nice, are the shots in focus? You know, actually, are the colours like correct? You know, and the technical side of it, because it is like a very technical job. It's almost like an engineer's type of job, like so I get like video engineers and things like that. You know, technically, a lot of it translates over. But I enjoy corporate a lot because it allows me to refine it constantly in an almost as sterile environment as possible. And like, cool, I can refine this and refine this to make it perfect. And then it's like, how can I improve it? How can I put my stamp on it? How can I make this Luke Flynn? You know,
of course.
And that's really why I love it. Like Christopher Nolan started off doing corporate videos.
Oh, okay.
So, and he was doing in corporate videos and like industry training films, like in the very early stages of his career. And he always says, like, you know, it doesn't matter really what you do. Like the stuff which I did, which was corporate, really helped me train and cut my teeth into what I do now, which is like features, because everything boils down to a very few elements, and it's just those combination of elements and the quality which you do those elements which really separates it.
Okay, I like that, because I always wondered whether or not you'd get bored because it's corporate, but it sounds to me that it's complete opposite.
Do you know what? I think if you get bored with what you do, you know, and, you know, credit to Chris and the team at Flambard, you know, I'm never not doing something.
It's never a dull day.
I'm never a dull day.
We're always like, Luke, can you film this? Luke, can you shoot that? Luke, is that ready?
I mean, Qatar was like, it's like, Luke, we're going Qatar in 2 weeks. Fancy it? And I'm like, yep, okay. You know,
you just have to be ready. Pack your bags, clear your diary.
This is it. And it's, do you know what? It's those levels where it's like, actually, and then we start creating really, really cool things, and it's how efficient can you make things? Which I love.
I love that. I love that for you as well, because it seems like you're not only perfecting your craft, but you're constantly revamping it and trying to dive deeper, which is lovely. And, well, I know you work a lot with us. I'm sure you have many other clients, but this question I like in particular because it dives a bit deep into that. So, Luke, when meeting new clients, like we were once upon a time, did you already have a vision in mind for us, like for Flambard Williams, where you wanted to take it, or did you have to get sort of a feel of our personalities and the direction Chris wants to go in before you knew what to shoot with us?
It varies. It really does. You know, some clients have a very tight preconceived notion of kind of what they want. And those types of videos are really, really great. They're really easy. They're almost fail proof because you've got this boiled down template, and you're like, okay, capture this, it goes together like this. It's like building like IKEA furniture. You know, some of them,
how easy that is. But
but sometimes it can get like, oh, okay, a plus b equals c type of videos, and then sometimes you get a client. So I'm working with a client a lot at the moment called Paula Beckett, who's a master chef.
Oh yes.
And she's very much she's like, Luke, just create me some really nice stuff.
So you've got the creative flow.
Full creative control.
Okay.
And at that point, that's when you can really start to like cook, you know, and like, okay, let's try some things out. Let's do things a little bit differently. How creative can we get? Where is the line?
Yes.
Because if the client's like, be creative as possible, it's either that they don't really know what they want, so they're trusting you, and that trust is really, really important.
Of course.
Or they've worked with a creative before where they've let him run with it,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and the results are so good that actually they're like, it's a more organic way of getting it.
Okay, I love that. So I like that you said it depends on the client, because I feel like with us,
100%.
depending on who he's speaking to, but depending on who you're speaking to, some of us are just all over the shop. Other times we have a bit of a vision. So, and you guide us, obviously.
Of course.
But leading on to my next question, Luke, did you find that working with Flambard Williams, your creative flow is quite stunted because you have to keep into consideration the professionalism of our brand?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I feel like I said, kind of like previously, if you feel stunted or if you feel like it's a little bit dull,
Yep.
you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
You know, and what we create at Flambard Williams, like, looks really, really good.
Yes.
You know, it's professional. It's very, very clean.
Yeah.
There's a certain cinematic element to it, which helps with the fact that we have some really nice gear in house, and I have the time to really like craft it.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean,
We're not a boring bunch.
you're not a boring bunch, you know, and
we're not easy to work with either.
do you know what?
The
You
amount of
are
times-
very easy to work with.
Well, I was going to say, from the amount of times you say to us, guys, we've got 10 minutes each, and there's what, a good 10 of us. And
Yeah.
take one, take two. Like, we've only got 2 takes. Well, okay, straight.
You
But
do have
it's
to get a little bit military with it, like you got 2 and that's it.
And guys, he can get a bit scary. It's like, take 1, take 2, that's it. And we're like, okay, yes, sir.
I'm never scary, but
It's for the right reason.
Flambard Williams is very easy to work with.
Yeah.
Because they're very open to very much like balls to the wall creative ideas, you know, and that's and any creative who come into a role or a company like that,
Yep.
it's just like a godsend.
Love that.
You know.
Yes. So we'll keep doing what we're doing then.
Yeah, just keep on doing it.
I love that. Okay. And what would you say then, on the flip side, is the hardest part about being a content creator and director? Because you are both. It's not like you have someone telling you what to do. You have to go in and do both jobs.
From like an industry perspective and like a product perspective, making sure that it's fresh,
Okay.
making sure that it's relevant and it's always like on point and actually, yeah, this is like the right product for the right time.
Okay.
I mean, we produce somewhere north of like 25, 30 videos, you know, a fortnight, you know. How do you keep those videos still being relevant, still being fresh, still,
Yeah.
you know,
Not repetitive.
hitting the marks and not being repetitive?
Yeah.
You know, and it gets tough, you know, and so you have to like change things up, and everything's always a test.
Yes.
You know, and if it's not a test and you think you're doing it perfectly, like, I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yes.
My level of perfection is, I'll never be able to like achieve it because it's just unachievable.
Yeah.
You know, but I still hold myself to it, because if I don't, then, you know, I'll get complacent, and then that's when actually things stop working.
Yes.
If you're always learning on something, actually it's always working.
Okay.
But personally, as like a content creator and like a director who, you know, I do a lot more than just talking heads and corporates. I do a lot of short film, you know, and over multiple different, you know, mediums. You know, imposter syndrome is the biggest one.
Oh, really?
Imposter syndrome is the biggest one.
Okay. That's interesting.
When you go onto a set and you've got 15, 20 people, you know, like we wrapped on a project, What the Future Holds.
Yes.
You know,
that one.
there was like 18 people on that set, and though you've got 18 sets of eyes looking at you like, all right, Captain, where we going?
Yeah, and they're all depending on you, aren't they?
This is it. And it's like, okay, like, you really can't mess it up.
No.
You know, and at that point, you start thinking, is this project maybe too big for me? Am I good enough to start doing that project?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
is what we've planned out for the last five months like going to work? You know, and it's all those little niggles which every creator has. I don't believe I've met a creator who says, do you know what, before a big shoot, I don't second guess myself.
That's so interesting, because obviously we would never, ever know that.
No.
We just follow your leadership and like, he knows what he's doing. We're just showing up. But I like that. And are there things that your clients or we should consider doing that would make your job a bit easier?
Consider the complexity of a project is always good, you know.
Okay.
The amount of times I've had clients who have wanted to do this amazing thing.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, yeah, we've got like, you know, 3 hours to like get it done, and like it's like 9 shots.
Yes.
And there's VFX work, and you know, does this in their head as someone who's like conceptualized an idea, it's very hard if you don't really know how to express yourself.
Yep.
In a way which creators understand. You know,
okay.
It's like speaking two different languages. You know, you can tell me, Luke, I want to do this amazing thing, and I'd be there like, we can try to do it. You know, so considering complexity is always good. You know, and yeah, just like understanding actually of the work and the craft which goes in.
Okay.
Because a lot of people just think, you know, oh, like, you know, anyone could do it. You're just hitting a button. And there's so much more to the stuff which you don't see.
Yeah.
You know, a client will be on your set for like 4 or 5 hours, and they're like, cool, but when can we have it?
I know, we used to do that, and then we saw from just you working in your office the long hours, it's so much more than that. It's so much, and then it has to get approved. Yeah, you
got to really like refine it. You refine it until it's as close to the mark, you know, as what you can get it.
Fair enough. And I think that when people work closely with you like ourselves, I think only then with time we get to understand that. But I can understand that if someone is literally just in and out of a shoot, they will never know probably. No. But timing is something that's massive in what you do, right? So whether it's just ticking to a time slot or getting content edited and ready on time. So do you feel like it's, I probably already know the answer to this question, but do you feel like it's easy for you to get backlogged with the work you do, or because you're so meticulous in what you do, you're very structured? Because 25 videos every fortnight is a bit insane.
it gets tough. You can get backlogs, and like you're always going to get it in every job, you know. Like I assume, like, you know, with the brokers, when you're on the phones for like 5-7 hours a day, like calling, and then you got to do a load of emails as well. It's the same boat, really. But really planning and understanding the project is so critical to really everything which we do here. You know, and having that professional, like, because I've been doing this for a while. If someone says to me, Luke, I'm going to have to edit this podcast. How long do you think it's going to take me to edit the podcast?
Every week.
It'll be about 5 hours.
You
know, before, and some people can do it quicker, some people can do it slower. Personal workflows are something which is you always account for. So yeah, this will take me about like 5 hours, and that's quick. You know, but
impressive.
It's planning always makes sense. Having a clear idea of what you want, knowing the tools which you use well enough to get it, you know, to a place which you want is always beneficial.
Yeah, and like you said, you've got so much experience up your sleeve that I'm sure you've now got the planning side of things. You know, it's
every day is a learning day. It can always get better.
Yeah,
you know.
Fair enough. And everyone is so different, and the projects we film are so different in scale and so on.
Exactly.
So it does depend. And what would you say, I'm sure you're going to love answering this question, but what would you say is the best part of your job?
It's a feeling, and it's hard to understand as someone who's not a creative. Okay. When you line up a shot, okay, and I get like these like fleeting moments, all right, and the lighting's right and the composition's perfect, you know, and you're like, I envision this in my head and it is perfect. It's like, it's just that little bit of like okay, that was magic.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
and that is the best feeling any creative will ever have, actually, when you look back at a piece of work or look back at a shot and you think, fucking hell, that was decent.
I get
you know,
that. Okay.
like that was exactly what I wanted.
I guess for us, it's more so anyone in the sales industry will know you map out a vision of your day, your week, your quarter, your year. And as soon as you get to those milestones, let's say monthly,
Yeah.
it's just that sigh of relief. Like, this is what I wanted to happen, and
Yeah.
it's happened, and pat on the back because I did that work. So I get what you mean.
Yeah.
There.
Or when like a customer's like plan and they've actually gone forward and actually like, guys, this has really, really helped me.
Yeah.
Like I've actually managed to like
Yeah.
change myself. Like I've done something really good with this. And you're like, okay, like,
Yeah, seeing how happy the other end,
Yeah.
you know, they feel. I know, I love that a feeling. I really like that one. Do you have a vision of where you'd like to take your career? I know you dream big, so
yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Do you know what? The way which I've always wanted to do things is really different to the way which things planned out.
Okay, how so?
So when I was very young, I wanted to be a graphic designer.
Okay.
Okay. And I was literally told my work's just never, it's not good enough. It's never going to be good enough to be a professional graphic designer.
Interesting.
And I was like, okay, like it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. It's a bit harsh, you know. But I still had this passion for photography, and I was like, maybe I can try turn it into that. And I was like, okay, I could do like a lot of band photography. So did some, because I come from Exeter in Devon.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bands which I did were really local, but it was regular, and it was nice engaging in that community. But I always wanted more. And then when I started really crafting like film and being able to tell stories the way which I want to tell them, I was there like, okay, I should be like a film director. Like this is what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to tell stories. I want to tell important stories from my perspective about things which I care about.
Okay.
You know, and I always lived by this. Like I don't really mind if I make like £1 or I make like 100,000, as long as I wake up every day and I'm happy. Then and I'm telling stories and doing the craft I love. Then that's it. But as I kind of got older and I moved more into a corporate space and I started to really hone my craft as such, I've got a really big passion for documentaries at the moment. And to be fair, if I never make like a fictional film, like feature film, I'll be happy with that. I wouldn't. I'm not going to be like on my deathbed and be there like, oh, do you know what? I really wish I made like a 90-minute epic.
Yeah.
You know, but if I'm on my deathbed and I've never told a powerful documentary story, then I'll have that regret, because human stories are so compelling,
so powerful,
and they're powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something which I personally really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, and secretly we've got a documentary coming up with Flambard Williams under the hush hush.
Yeah.
You know, can't tell you what it's about, but I'm really excited for it because it tells a beautiful story.
I love that, and I'm sure everyone else is excited to see it when it comes out. So we're nearing an end, but not yet. So I've got a few more questions to go through with you. But if you could take yours aside, take your own personal work aside, if you could choose the ideal production to work on, what would it be? It could be anything in the past that's gone, or it could be something that you know is up and coming.
Okay. So there's one film which is really, really important in my life. Okay. And it's a film me and my dad watched, and I was like maybe 17 at the time.
Okay.
And we sat down and we watched it because he knew I was starting to really find my feet in film. And it was Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. It was it's like the 1970s original cut. It was like aired on TV. I think we saw it in a cinema actually.
Okay.
That would be the set I would want to work on.
Okay, I've not seen it, so I need to check that out.
It's chaotic.
Oh.
It's a true work of art.
Is it because it was like very early days of them sort of shooting and filming, or what makes it chaotic?
It's the 70s, I mean, there's a whole documentary behind it called The Heart of Darkness.
Okay.
Watch it. It's a very unapologetic look into filmmaking.
Okay.
It really is. But they had issues which I know 99% of like other creatives would have just been like, okay, we're good now, we're done.
Yeah.
You know, like their set got washed away in a typhoon.
Oh.
They lost footage. They had to go back to Warner Brothers and said, hey, listen, like we need another $1 million to finish this.
My
And $1 million in the 70s was like what?
Yeah.
It's just like
Insane.
insane, and it almost broke Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But then the film came out and it was just a raving success.
Wow.
And it's so cult now.
Yeah.
It's just ingrained with it. If you want to watch a classic film,
Okay.
you go down that Ford Coppola route, you know, and you actually have a look at, because it was just after the Vietnam War as well. So it's very, very like hot on the press.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. And if I could go back in time,
there.
I would love to get on there just as like a runner.
Okay.
Or like a first assistant camera or something like that, where it's like you're in the mix.
Yep.
But
Witnessing it all.
witnessing it all.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, well, last question for you, Luke. And I thought we'd end on something related to you, but it's also related to your craft.
Of course.
So, on the flip side, what's the most exciting set that you've been on?
I've been on a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I did a shoot with Lego for Channel 4, which was fun.
Oh, nice.
Had Catherine Ryan in, which was funny. Did a black and white virtual production short film.
Oh, nice.
That was fun. Went to like five different countries. Cleaned up a load in awards.
Okay.
And that was like that was fun. But I don't know. Do you know what? Actually, no. The most exciting thing probably is what the future holds. Being honest.
Really.
Just from a planning perspective and actually a creative perspective as like a whole.
Yeah.
It was so different to kind of what we've ever like shot and what I've ever shot because it's interactive.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to do everything's got to be everything has to be perfect as onto that. And even though it's not glamorous or it's exciting to me because it's the project which I learned the most on.
Of course.
You know.
Yeah, and you were in charge, isn't it? So you had to.
And I had to learn it. But it was great, and it was. I mean, there were so many lessons which you take from it, but that's
you do it
probably
again, right?
100%.
Love that, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come. I know personally that we've got a lot of exciting things up your sleeves.
Lots of things coming up.
It's going to be a really exciting year, I feel, especially from not only for Flambard Williams, but for those of you that do follow along with us. Luke will be plugging that out, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. I feel like I could have gone on and on and on. There were a few more questions.
We could have talked for hours.
Literally. I'm actually really interested in this topic of film personally. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for being on the hot seat. I know you were a little bit apprehensive when
I'm still looking over at the preview. I'm there like...
I noticed.
Everything looks like it's all in focus.
It was amazing. I'm sure you're going to cringe editing it because you always do cringe watching yourself. But guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode as much as I did. I'll try and have him on here again so that we can pick his brains a bit more. Any questions that you guys have, please feel free to ping them over to us. But for now, that is everything, and I will see you next week for yet another episode. So thank you and goodbye.